Hello, my name is Milo Rodriguez, and I was a student at the Verne College of Law during the 2011-2012 academic year. While enrolled at the Verne College of Law, I witnessed the professor of one of my courses openly displaying his elbow web tattoo. The elbow web tattoo is a spider web that covers the elbow. The professor never stated his intention in getting the tattoo or what message he was conveying by openly displaying it on the Verne campus. The tattoo was witnessed by an African American student in 2010. The elbow web tattoo in and of itself is classified as a hate symbol by the Anti-Defamation League. I have personally witnessed skinhead members displaying their elbow web tattoos in public. The following images are of persons displaying the elbow web tattoo in various forms. The tattoo is commonly worn by racist groups, antisocial groups, extremist, and hate groups. As a reasonable minority person, these photos depict how I perceive the elbow web tattoo and how I have come to understand its symbology. Persons that have been known to wear the elbow web tattoo include, but are not limited to, convicted murderers, neo-Nazi skinheads, prison gang members, outlaw motorcycle gang members, and all manner of extremist and hate groups. A person may state that their elbow web tattoo doesn't mean anything, and they simply like spider webs. As you can see, all it takes is one antisocial vest, racist t-shirt, or any manner of hate group insignia or paraphernalia to amplify the meaning of the elbow web tattoo. One's conduct, both verbal and nonverbal, is also a strong indication of the meaning behind the elbow web tattoo. These are seminal cases exemplifying the social reality of the elbow web tattoo. While I was a student in the professor's class, I asked him a question regarding substantive law. He physically approached me and raised his voice, stating, "Do you have a problem?" while simultaneously making a sudden lunging motion toward me. This was an intimidating, tense, and outrageous moment. I received an email the next morning stating I do not understand our seemingly mutual frustration with one another last night in class, nor do I understand what may have been driving it. I invite and request that you come see me at your earliest convenience. I did not show up to the class the following week and considered dropping out of the Verne Law program. However, I did meet with the professor at his request, and he showed up to the meeting wearing a short-sleeved shirt, exposing his elbow web tattoo to me. This is one of the professor's exam fact patterns where we can take a look into his worldview. He uses a fictitious name of Bart McBeermaster, which is a presumably Irish surname. In the fact pattern, Bart McBeermaster is the owner of a drinking establishment, a stereotypical way to view Irish men. The professor depicts Pablo, owner of Picasso paints, as a parched, desperate, and indebted person. These are obvious racial distinctions. On the final exam, the professor used the presumably African American name, similar to Latiqua or Laquisha. This is a quote that the professor appropriated for a journal article. It is from Tea Party leader Ken Cuccinelli regarding a facet of immigration policy where he terms Mexican immigrants as illegal aliens. Let's look at another quote made by Ken Cuccinelli.
I have a feeling whatever views are espoused on there are not the majority views. But anyway, he was talking about DC's pest control policies. Now, he's actually wrong on the substance here, but I'm not so much worried about the substance as the rhetoric. Listen to what he says. They have to relocate the rats. And not only that, that's actually not the worst part. They cannot break up the families of the rats. So anyway, it is worse than our immigration policy. You can't break up rat families, or raccoons, and all the rest. And you can't even kill them. It's unbelievable. Now, to play devil's advocate, perhaps what he's saying there, as horrendous as it is only that, thankfully, with our immigration policy, we can break up the families. And so maybe the most offensive thing that he's saying there is just that he thinks it's fine to take immigrant families, break them up, and send some back down to Latin America, South America, wherever they came from, and leave some in America. That's devil's advocate. It's just that horrendous. More likely, it's revealing what he actually thinks about immigrant families. The fact that he's mixing them up so casually with killing rats and raccoons and other sorts of pests, that should raise some warning signs for you.
After filing a complaint to the HR department of the University of Laverne, they conducted an internal investigation. I received this response wherein they claimed to be unable to substantiate any and all of my allegations. During the meeting, HR member Sandra Coletti stated, "What if the professor used to be that way, but no longer is?" The question then is, when did he repent? This portion of the investigative conclusion states that HR interviewed students who allegedly witnessed the conduct and/or were specifically identified by me as supporting witnesses. This statement is a false assertion. The problem is that I never specifically identified anyone as a supporting witness. A supporting witness, as I understand it, is a term of art used during an adversarial process such as a university tribunal or a legal proceeding, where each party brings forth their own supporting witnesses. In my formal complaint, I factually recounted events and mentioned few others that were present, but in no way did I describe anyone as a supporting witness. If a university tribunal would have been conducted, only then would I have specifically identified anyone as a supporting witness on my behalf. The University of Laverne stated that they interviewed students and/or students that I specifically identified as supporting witnesses. The conjunction and/or is commonly used in boilerplate documents describing conditions yet to occur. For example, if you damage the carpet and/or the surface of the walls, a fee will be taken from your deposit. Using the boilerplate conjunction and/or in an investigative conclusion clearly illustrates the gross lack of due diligence on behalf of the University of Laverne. They are essentially saying we interviewed some people or those people, and therefore we conclude this. A prominent judge addressed the usage of and/or in a court opinion. And/or, neither word nor phrase, the child of a brain of someone too lazy or too dull to express his precise meaning, or too dull to know what he did mean. Now commonly used by lawyers in drafting legal documents through carelessness or ignorance, or as a cunning device to conceal rather than express meaning with view to furthering the interest of their clients. Before the investigation took place, I contacted the president of the university, Devorah Lieberman. She stated that the interim dean would be in contact with me. The interim law dean never contacted me, did not respond to my emails or letter I sent, and refused to meet with me. The following is a photo of President Lieberman giving a speech at a Laverne Latino-oriented conference. She spoke to a predominantly Latino audience. Here she is communicating the message of never giving up. A noble message, but whether she intended it or not, her raising her hand and clenching her fist symbolizes a public showing of support and solidarity. However, when I further contacted President Lieberman, I received a response from the Laverne lawyers, stating the University of Laverne has conducted a thorough investigation of Mr. Rodriguez's claims and that they have no merit. The university has conducted a thorough investigation. They did not address the elbow web tattoo in the conclusion, did not provide an exit briefing, and refused to release investigative documents. The investigation has absolutely zero transparency.
And so I shaved my head and joined their group.
Today, he focuses his rage on Mexican immigrants.
We got to defend ourselves. and we just can't stand there and get walked on anymore. If it takes us holding a gun to somebody's head and telling them to leave us alone, that's what we're going to have to do. Rallies and marches, that was old school. That's the old days. It's time to start killing these people and get them out of here, you know? That's the only way. That's the only solution, you know, is to really kill them all.
The scenario I have presented has the appearances of a wager. If the professor unintentionally and unknowingly tattooed himself with a known hate symbol that has factually advocated and continues to advocate the attack and murder of minority persons, then minority students are presumably safe from harassment and distraction while they pursue higher education. However, if the professor intentionally and knowingly tattooed himself with the known hate symbol that factually advocates the attack and murder of minority persons, then minority persons are by no means safe from harassment and distraction while they pursue higher education at the University of Laverne. My question to you is, which scenario is more likely?